In this lesson, we're going to look at introducing complex numbers. We're going to define complex numbers, we're going to identify complex numbers, and we're going to look at how to add and subtract complex numbers. So, a complex number is a combination of a real and an imaginary number. A real number would be any rational number, and an imaginary number is something of this format, bi, where I is the imaginary number and b is the coefficient of I. Now, one thing to note is that either of these parts could be 0. So now let's look at some examples here and see if we can identify the real parts and the imaginary parts. So in this one, the first example, 6 minus 5i. 6 is considered the real part, and then minus 5i is considered the imaginary part. Here we have 4i. This is the imaginary part, and then we can assume that there's a plus 0 for the real part. Now let's look at how we add complex numbers. Here, with complex numbers you have the real part and the imaginary part. So to add them together, you're going to group the real parts together, and then you're going to group the imaginary parts together, and you are now going to add them together. And when you're done adding, then you can write in the form a plus bi. So let's look at this example here. So 6 minus 3i, that's the complex number here, plus 5 plus 8i, that's another complex number. So let's look at the real numbers together. So we're going to bring 6 and 5i together. So we're actually going to bring 6 and 5 together. That is 6 right here, which is the real number here, and 5, which is the real number here. And then plus, so I'll put this in parentheses, plus, and then we're going to look at the imaginary numbers there. We have minus 3i plus 8i. So we have 6 plus 5 is 11, plus minus 3i plus 8i, that's 5i. So the result of this, we have to make sure it's in this format, a plus bi, where a is real and b is imaginary. A is real, b is imaginary. So bi is imaginary. Let's look at another example here. So we can get rid of these parentheses because it's an addition and it's a 1 here. We're just going to have it looking like this: 5 plus 4i plus 9 plus 12i. So now we're going to group the real numbers together and the imaginary together. So we have 5 plus 9, we group this together, plus 4i plus 12i. So 5 plus 9, we have 14, plus 4i plus 12i, that's 16i. This is in the format a plus bi. So now we're looking at subtracting. We followed the same method that we used for addition. And so what we're going to do here is let's remove the parentheses. So we have 5 plus 4i minus 9 minus 12i. So now let's group them together. We have 5 minus 9 plus 4i minus 12i. So 5 minus 9 is negative 4, plus 4i minus 12i, we have negative 8i. So we have a plus minus, so we're going to end up with a minus. Minus 4 minus 8i. This is still in the format a plus bi, because b is negative 8 in this case. Finally, let's look at this example. So we're going to get rid of the parentheses. We have 9 plus 21i minus 4 minus 13i. So let's group common terms together. 9 minus 4 plus 21i minus 13i. So we have 9 minus 4 is 5 plus 21i minus 13i. That's going to give us 8i. So we have 5 plus 8i as the final answer, and we can see this is written in a plus bi form.